Oh my goodness. It's been forever. I'm trying to get everything together like it's normal, but it's been so long since we've done this. Oh goodness. I have to make sure all my sound is working properly too. So I'm gonna hop into voice with all you nerds. Even with DOS being first and Winged apparently second. We're gonna test everything out. I gotta make sure all the everything plays. So give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and swap over here. And let me see if I can make sure everything is working properly. Hold on. No. I always loved the Dawn Gate music so much. Okay, we're going to see if some of our other stuff works. So give me a second and let's see if this works properly.
You know, whatever the big number was to get the big achievements for mounts, I had that. I was the stupid, obnoxious WoW collection guy. I had the mountain of mounts, the mountain of pets when they added Pokemon crap to WoW. Because I only played the one character for like 8 years. So since I didn't branch out from a warlock, I had lots of time to just do the stupid shit and collect things.
Warlock. No.
Man, Affliction was my jam. In Wrath of the Lich King, though, I played a hybrid demonology. Destruction demonology or affliction demonology, can't remember, but I would crash people's computers by pumping out too high numbers, and I would cause computers to crash. It was fantastic.
Oh my god.
And that AoE damage in the opening of the Icewind Crowns, the castle, the citadel that Arthas was in or whatever, that big opening in the cathedral, and you had all those mobs right there. I would go in, I would pop my demon form, I would AoE the shit out of the place, and then people would just start dropping out of 25-man raids. It's like, where's everyone going? And I'm just start laughing. Hey, I'm back. I don't know what happened. My computer crashed. And I finally figured out after a couple months, every time I would pop that form and pump out those numbers, everyone would start losing connection.
Oh my god. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back.
Everyone's already back.
I've got to fix something real quick. I don't know what it is. Sometimes with the push to talk on Discord, it messes up. We're gonna see if this fixes it.
You have suffering from success.
It really was. I'm not going to say the game was an addiction, but it was at least an addict. I'm in denial about the shun part.
Oof. Goodness
Like
gracious.
for a long while, I played through WoW as a paladin. Did that, and then they did the Legion, and I was like, oh, jumping aboard that Demon Hunter boat.
Oh, that Demon Hunters, they were so sexy, though.
Oh, yeah. Jump from any effing mountaintop and I'll just glide down. It doesn't matter. Double jumps.
What I loved, at one point they added, like, statistics in WoW. They get wiped if you server hop, though, so that fucked me. On Eonar, I was the #1 in deaths by falling.
Yeah, I've got to change that. Sorry.
On the server for both Horde and Alliance side. That is a very weird trophy. But keep in mind, I'm a warlock. I'd soulstone myself, jump off of a mountain, and then just stand up at the bottom. Fall damage? Not if I have a soulstone. I'll just stand back up and keep walking.
My goodness.
That's what I would do as a paladin. Pop that bubble right as you're about to the bottom. You're like, well, that's fine.
I'm just gonna eliminate that for right now.
Blessing of protection, or blessing of kiss my ass. That's why my paladin was named Stop Bop and Roll. Throughout Warlords of Draenor, I was determined to prove that Affliction Warlocks could be good. So I played Affliction all through it and ended up to finally topping charts about 3/4 of the way through. And then once I was actually topping DPS, I was like, all right, my goal is complete. I'm done with this game now. And I quit.
WoW was always a slippery slope.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it was great if you had like a bunch of friends and you guys all wanted to do something together. It was fantastic for that. But at the same time, like it really became a job, because if you wanted to progress, you had to invest.
Yeah, you really did. It was I did everything from like vanilla for quite some time, like raided 40-man raids and whatnot, and it just became so much time and effort.
Did you ever get the red bug mountain in AQ?
No, I think at that point in time I was fading away from that. I was just like, I just can't do it anymore. But
I got every one of those fucking bug mounts except for the black one you get for was it being the server first?
Oh yeah.
Song.
Yeah, that was a rough one to get.
God, and then the Ashes of Alar from Burning Crusade, the Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
I'll never forget, good old Steve, Darth Steve, got so fucking irritated. I got that mountain. He had been trying for years, every single week going in and farming that. I'd do it 3 times. And I'm like, hey, I got this cool thing. What is this Ashes of Alar? God damn it, stop!
Yeah.
Oh, it's a mount. Hell yeah. Oh, this is that mount you want, isn't it, Steve? Fuck you, stop.
I'm just trying to double check just some things. Of course, I didn't have time to clarify this up front, so of course now it's like gonna irritate the shit out of me.
Well, take your time. My attention span is so far in left field today. On the plus side, I have a roof, and hopefully it's not rotting in places and so incredibly misdone that that it'll last for a good 30 to 50 years based on the warranty I bought on it.
Oof.
Did you get like another layer of shingles, or like brand new?
Brand new. They
Nice.
since 7 o'clock this morning, they have been ripping up shingles and putting new things down.
Oh my god.
Because, I went to bed at 3 o'clock this morning, because, I get off after midnight. And, 3 a.m. I go to bed. 6:55. Ka-dum-dum-dum. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a pattern. And on top of that, I had to be awake at some point anyways, because the Dell Tech was coming to mess with my wife's computer. Because that's another warranty I bought, and I was like, I'll be damned if I'm gonna buy extra tools and other shit. And to be perfectly honest, I'll be damned if I'm gonna rip that specific laptop apart, because I know what the inside of that laptop looks like, and I paid for a warranty to not have that headache. Dear God. If there's a nuclear holocaust, if you could fit inside it, you would survive inside the cross beams of that laptop. Jeez. You have to rip. It takes 10 minutes just to rip it apart to get to the RAM. It's so nuts. But anyway, so I had to wait for that. So here I am, less than 4 hours of sleep, just rolling over constantly. I have a sleep mask that has headphones in it, so I'm just trying to drown out the sound, and that's definitely not working. It's not. It's so loud. And then I get this call going, hey, I'll be there in like 36 minutes. God damn, fine, I'll get up. Jesus. Tiffany's in here. Her eyes are wide. They're bloodshot. She's got to go to work. And I'm like, this was the best start to my staycation ever. I had no energy to actually work on ripping apart the 2 rooms that I need to get an office going and all that, since Mander's gone now.
I was gonna say, you're gonna have plenty of time to mess with stuff, hopefully, now that you got some free space. And
Oh yeah, see, I've got two boxes right here I'm standing beside that are behind my couch. Those are both 2 different kinds of bookshelves, because I'm moving a bunch of D&D books up there, and then my novels and everything that I have. This box over here is my standing desk that I'm going to be putting in there. These boxes down here are lights and a new webcam and microphone to put on the computer when I get things in there.
It's so exciting.
It's like I have all this shit now to build and put together, but I've got to, tear everything out of that room and tear everything out of the basement, figure out how I'm gonna do the do-si-do to move a couple things. It's gonna be an adventure, and we'll see. And I just hope that I can get it done without getting a migraine to stop me.
What have you been doing?
I have been doing better. New glasses have helped immensely. I've had quite a I think light sensitivity is a big deal, though. Especially at work, because about 30 minutes after getting to work, like, I'll have some of the fatigue and nausea, and I'll have the threat of throbbing in my head. But it's mostly like fatigue and nausea that comes with it. But I noticed that at home, after a couple days of being at home, I feel a lot better usually. So I think it's the fluorescent lights at work.
Ugh.
That, or like my posture at work with the way their chairs are, the height of the desks, and all of that. And they can't just change the desks in my room, because they had to build those desks to get them in there, because we're in such a fucking Harry Potter broom closet.
oh my god.
Like, I can't even get new monitor mounts, because we'd have to tear the desks apart to put different mounts in to do anything different. And my boss is like, I am not tearing these desks apart. No one is touching these desks, because it was such a pain in the ass to get them in here to build and everything. And I'm like, oh well, okay, well, fuck that idea.
It seems so ridiculous. Like, I guess, I don't know. To me, it's kind of like a tough shit. It's their problem at this point in time. They could try to do something to you, but then, I mean, honestly, if you go to them and say, hey, I have these working conditions that I need, tough shit. It's on them at that point to change it.
Yeah. Well, on the plus side, though, our new facility grounds guy has already gotten a dude to come through with quotes, because he's, before I realized it, he was wanting to change out all the fluorescent bulbs in the IT building with LED. So, which means not just that, but they have to rip out and replace the entire ballasts. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't want to bitch and complain too much, because that's already happening. So I'm like, all right, well, I know that's gonna take time, because they have to budget for it and everything, but that's already something that's going to happen. So I'm gonna wait for that, and I'm probably gonna go to the chiropractor too, just to see about posture related stuff. And
Yeah.
go for like three times a week for a few weeks to see if that helps as well. But I have a neurology appointment at the end of February? Question mark. So that'll be fun. I'll actually have a neurologist to look at me, instead of that doctor who was like, yeah, you got vertigo for 2.5 months, when that's usually like a 2-week tops thing.
It's probably just taking a shot in the dark. Yeah, you need a specialist for sure.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, your world's unstable. Yeah, you got vertigo. And the thing is like, I never told any of these doctors that my world spun. Like, does your world spin? No, actually, no, it doesn't. It's a little topsy-turvy, maybe? Like, it's a little unstable. Like, I feel like I'm on a deep-sea fishing boat rocking back and forth, trying to walk straight, though, but never spinning. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's close enough. Is it? Is it really?
Hmm.
And then I look up actual migraine symptoms, and like that is one of the potential symptoms. And it's like, what I said actually matches online, but you're saying something in left field. What? And the thing is like that doctor is actually usually really, really fucking spot on with things. Like she has found things wrong with people that other doctors miss all the time. So it's like, as per usual, I roll the ones.
I think it'll be all right. You're seemingly putting forth the time and the effort to try to discover what's going on, and just don't let work step all over you.
Nah, and on top of that, I'm trying to get out of that department at work anyways. So as much as I would like to push a little harder, I'm also pushing to go a different direction. So I have to gauge how hard I push on certain things to see which things are worth it and which parts become, this guy's kind of too pushy and a problem, let's not. So it's like, okay, well, I have to gauge, management reactions.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Yep.
But if I can get out of that department and have because I'm trying to get them to actually create like a tier 1 networking department. And if I can get that going, then 2 of us will get out of there into a completely different room with a completely different job set where I also won't have like 8 monitors blaring in my face that I have to watch at all times.
It'd probably help.
Oh god. Such a feast or famine job. Every gray hair I have is named after an individual outage.
Oh no. Well, at least
Talk about outages here, okay?
I was gonna say, at least right now we don't have to worry about work, right? We can talk about how you all are going to have a sexy bathhouse together.
So we can talk about making a new place to work.
Yeah, the fantasy of having a new place to work.
Oh, I love it.
Good employment with good pay. Oh, the dream.
Yeah, benefits, whatever. This is a fantasy world, so we literally have whatever you want.
401ks, all health
Yeah.
insurance you ever need.
Job security.
You are the boss. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But yeah,
Saskia, you get a free bath every single week. As part of your package for your onboarding package.
Somebody gets herself a bath. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was thinking specifically you're a cat, so you may not go for it, but that's just a business expense we won't have to worry about then if that's the case.
that's true.
Why is there a hairball in the water? What, Saskia?
Sorry.
Just hear her coughing up in the background. Oh no.
Who's leaving dead mice outside my office? Saskia?
No, I don't want to anger the Rat King.
Oh.
Oh no.
Dead birds.
Oh god, here we go. Unless.
Yeah, you show that one picture of the Rat King, everyone's like, "Oh, I want to work for him."
Yeah.
His good side.
Can I get a job from him? Like every day?
It's like see that picture, pulls out wallet, looks at my hetero card, going, do I want to keep that?
Can I just trade this in right now, please? Yeah, like obviously.
Wife, are you okay if I play for both teams?
It's worth it, I promise.
Look, I'll share him, okay?
But yeah, like this is obviously just going to be something a little bit more fun. We get back into the mood of things. It's been a little while since we've done this, as evident by me not knowing heads or tails of what my scene looked like. But yeah, this is not going to be anything that's too heavy at this point in time, and we'll talk about where we want to go from here. We'll do some RP, obviously, and we'll kind of establish you all in the downtime that we've had, as far as like where we're all at, what you all want to do going forward, and maybe set up some things for our next session as well. So we don't have to go super long, maybe just a couple hours, and then yeah, we'll try to figure out where we're at now, because it has been quite a long time. So just as a reminder, obviously the last full session we had, it was, if I do remember correctly, you all had some information. I believe your notes were pretty much spot on, Ecthalion. You got some information leading to basically the general idea and whereabouts and whatnot of Firefiend, and you were working with the Bad One's brother, more or less, in a somewhat symbiotic fashion, in order to get what you need from him, while still involving the family to some degree, so that way everybody kind of ends up being happy. But in the meantime, in order to kind of establish yourself with a stronghold in the city of Salus, you all have tried to put forward some plans and making a location a home to a degree, as well as, you know, establishing yourself with some income, hopefully. So if you all wanted to weigh in on individually how you all go about doing this, as well as, like, you know, what's your individual contribution. Obviously the funds should be fairly easy to secure. I can't remember exactly where we were going to establish the bathhouse, because it was kind of a last minute, or at least at the last part of our last session, which was a while ago. But you all can tell me, like, you know, where it is, what you feel like it would look like. We can go into a little bit details as far as who's helping you run the place, if anything, if it's only going to be you all. And obviously, you know, we can start from the top and work our way down. So Ecthalion, if you had some ideas, especially considering you're probably going to be using your connections to establish a good bulk of the funds up front to get established in the city with this particular location, you're more than welcome to contribute whatever you like.
Okay. My thought, Mist's concept of this. Letter goes off, making the request to the powers that be, to the organization, with the idea saying, hey, need a home base, need a front for my team, also to make money for continued, you know, progress here and establishing our own foothold, almost a more centralized, good idea kind of deal. Business front sounds very much like the mob, and I'm okay with that suddenly. And I'm thinking, you know, a nice, beautiful bathhouse. The placement wise, my thought is kind of in between, like, the living quarter and, like, the market or industrial area. Like, I'd like a good central point. That way, you know, after a nice long day's work, maybe you want to come, like, on your way home, you know, stop at the bathhouse. There's a men's, public bath, a women's public bath, maybe even a private bath for VIPs later on. You know, kind of around back or something. But you have the nice split. When you go in, it looks very beautiful and natural. You got the bamboo filling up with that nice thunk, you know, as they feel like they do in the Japanese accoutrement. Nice rocks, you know, very natural looking, but maybe the bath itself being, you know, tiled and easy to clean and maintain. But you'll have that room before you get to the actual soaking area where you wash yourself first, you get your towel, a locker or something of that sort to put your belongings in before you make your way to that second. And then, of course, there'd have to be a slight refreshment area. There'd be like a little tea or a bar area. You know, if you soak for too long, you might get a little parched, so you have to, you know, there's refreshments you can pay extra for.
I swear, if there's like a jerky area,
Sometimes you get hungry after sweating, man. Gotta get that protein back in you. Jerky. That's what
There's
it
even a
sounds
competition every so often. Maybe it's a once every couple months we'll hold a, I don't know, a breath holding competition. The winner gets a jerky meat sword.
Ooh.
Oh.
In
I
the
was gonna say,
private baths.
we could call it a jerk off competition, but I guess that puts the wrong context, huh?
It's completely made out of brown chicken, brown cow.
Who's cleaning these bathrooms?
That's a good question. Anyways, but that's my general idea of a layout and design. There's lots of reds and pinks. If I could even get sakura trees growing, or at least plants that would give that kind of chipper yet chill vibe. Yeah, it's kind of the layout I'd like. Something nature, but not too nature. But on the way home or on the way in, kind of a deal. Not too far away from a home quarters of the town.
Okay, and then that makes sense. And just, I think we semi-discussed this before, but just as a reminder, especially if you get something that is not so trade district obviously is going to be the busiest, but it's also probably going to be the most patrolled and secured. If anything's a little bit outside that, say in the oh God, I'm drawing a blank now. Any of the other districts, so what would I say? Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna pull this up so I can give you a better idea here. My brain would work as well.
I have a couple ideas as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So the working district, pardon me, if it's in between, if it's technically associated in the working district, obviously security wouldn't be as tight, so you might have a little bit more rabble, but you'd be probably able to blend in a little bit better, and it wouldn't be as expensive.
See, I'm also thinking, if that's the case, we can always work a little bit with Hratha here. If I remember that correctly, Hratha
That's correct.
Firefiend, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. To hire a couple of guards from the mercenary group to get him involved to build that trust relationship there, That was a little side idea I had that I wasn't quite ready to bring forward yet. Not necessarily that I don't even know if they do that per se, but if they have low-key mercenaries that aren't quite fit for the big jobs, it could always be, bouncers at the door or something.
Well, if it's a writ provided by the city, they would take part in that. So if you
That's right, that's what it was.
If you pose that idea or somehow get that pushed through to the officials, regardless of where you're at in the city, I mean, it's very likely the city would want to help endorse new business. Then you might be able to get something like that going.
Hey, and that's the whole reason why there's be a VIP section in the back. If there's government officials from the city who would like to, lords and ladies who want to have that bath but separate, then they need protection. They're the nobles.
So an idea that I had was to have maybe just between us some back hallways behind these baths where we could listen in and get intel.
Ooh. Really hitting that roguish archetype there, huh?
Yes, in the shadows, as well as maybe have our dwellings on the second floor, or an office or something like that, or even just a meeting room or something.
Secret underground barracks for us.
Ooh. Underground, you say?
Okay.
I think you all have met someone underground that may be able to help with that.
we that's great, but we require air fresheners.
Yeah.
I didn't say
Hmm.
sewers. I just said underground.
I mean, look, that's underground. There's not much space between streets and sewers.
You just destroy the sewers and move it.
How dare! All right. Well, and this is just surface level. We can go in depth with whatever else at any point in time. But Demo, did you have any kind of ideas as far as it can be about the bathhouse, or it could be just any kind of contribution, especially during the downtime that Archon would have had.
Yeah, I think kind of going along with the theme of the bathhouse, I definitely would have done some wood carvings. Larger scale than what I'm used to, but definitely bigger to kind of greet people. Kind of like he was saying, like the Japanese bathhouse, kind of like little guardians of the door kind of thing.
Oh,
cool.
hell
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, whatever creature, it's fine. We can do humans, I don't care, whatever. But just some kind of figures there would be beneficial.
I mean, you guys, it's whatever aesthetic you're wanting to do as well. Like it's not gonna be unheard of to see all walks of life, obviously, in Salus. So it doesn't always just have to be like humans. It could be a figure. It could be, you can just do dragons. I mean, like there's all sorts of things that you can do if you really wanted to. But it'll help kind of add to the vibe and the aesthetic, and whatever you feel is a good contribution may actually give you some good conversation pieces and some good leeway with the city.
What about like spirits from like all the walks or like from all the continents? Like some kind of guardian spirits carved from the verdant area, then like some guardian spirits if they have any at all from from the areas around Solace and so forth, just to give like everyone that inclusive vibe.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I think both Mist and Archon would definitely be accustomed to the Verdant's belief structures of like the Kith, which is basically just like fire and water spirits. So that can definitely be an easy adaptation that they can both kind of incorporate into like the imagery that's there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Das. what's Asher got for us
Oh,
here?
God.
Oh man. Just the basic stuff now. With the bathhouse, stuff like that, he would be pretty down, like cleaning after, it's time to close up, everything like that. I think he'd be fine doing that, no problems. But he would also, himbo it up in the front and try and, come on in. This water's fine, hop in. So he'd probably be in himbo status while working there and doing stuff. And I don't know, after closing time, probably go back and still check in with Arcane Stinky, see if there's any work, anything going on he can dive into. And between all that, spare time, go out hunting, and definitely still work on doing leathercraft and, dabbling his hand in some jerky selling.
Just a little jerky.
Yeah, just a little jerky, not much, just enough to help pay the bills.
Some late night jerkin,
Exactly. This guy gets it.
Okay, so if you all are down, and this would be a later thing, not a now thing. And I know that this is past the books at one point in time. Because I have an idea where we can do this with some other people as well, and this isn't a permanent thing. But if we wanted to, both the monks and the other two sneakies could have, like, during this downtime or during this kind of small gap in time where we're not as focused on this main theme, if you wanted to have like this ancillary quick one-shot adventure dealio, where we can possibly see some other faces kind of come in and help, where maybe Miss and Archon do a thing for Ratha, and Asher and Saskia do something for Stinky. We can do some things like that, and we can talk more about it later. But if you're down for something like that, I think I can drum up some things where maybe we do like a quickie somewhere.
I rolled a 100% for being down for that.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
You're actually supposed to roll low. I'm just kidding.
Oh crap! see, they always said I didn't play well with others.
Does my -20 counteract this a little bit?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, there we go.
Finally balanced them out. But Saskia or Winged, what would be your, besides the hidden? I like the hidden pathways, by the way. Was there anything else?
Was pretty much my ideas for the bathhouse. I don't know if you wanted to talk about like what we were doing in the downtime as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So last episode, Saskia learned that her village needed some more medicine. So I think during this like downtime, Saskia would have teamed up with Asher to get intel on who would have the ingredients that was needed, and go ahead and use the funds that she's been saving up and purchase those and send them back out to the village.
Okay, and that probably would have been, at least at a quick glance, it probably would have been Lily Littlefoot, which was the alchemist. A very, very, I would say, energetic, go-getter apprentice alchemist that is very talkative, but also very, very cautious to a degree of people in her shop, because she just doesn't want them to explode, and she wants to make a name for herself like her father had. So she's very high energy, high strung, and either knew where or had everything in stock to kind of send back whatever provisions that you were looking for. I think honestly I did come up with a picture of her too. I'm gonna see if I can link it. Hold on. I wonder if it's appropriate. But I'm assuming, I don't think, from what I know of Asher, he wouldn't have an issue helping with that.
I was just gonna say that I kind of like assumed that Asher would have helped.
Yeah,
But it's up to you.
No, I fucking hate helping my friends.
As he stomps off and runs away. I don't wanna.
I stomp my hoof and I say, "Yeah, I'm not gonna."
Believe I found her. Hold on. There you go. That's just unedited. I'm probably gonna do some edits, but
Oh, very cool.
That is
That's
awesome.
freaking sweet.
whatever. I'll just post the link in chat too, just in case. But yeah, that's just Lily. She is probably more covered in soot and dirtier in actuality than in that picture, because she's always doing little experiments, and her shop is basically it is small-blooded sized. Well, maybe a little bit taller than small blood, maybe human. So you both could probably fit in there without ducking down too much. Archer may have a harder time. Mist would just walk right in because it's probably appropriately sized. But it's like a mortar and pestle. Like that's what it looks like from the outside. But a little chimney on top that always pushes out sometimes darker smoke than others because you can hear bangs and booms from the inside. Very like goblin engineering to a degree at some points in the day. But for the most part, you know, it's not a hazard. So she's a very active one in trying to forge something better for her name and her family. But yeah.
I'm his money friend.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, she's a fun one to be a partner with. So you at least have good connections with her now.
Yay! Yeah, I think maybe Saskia would probably enjoy talking about plants with her.
Yeah, she definitely likes to talk about plants and like certain concoctions and whatnot, and probably picks your brain a bit when it comes down to things you've probably seen in the wild. She often tries to elicit help to go out and get things for her because she's not as combat worn as other people are. But she does enjoy talking to you about those types of like reagents and whatnot in the wild.
Ooh. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Saskia will probably hang on to something unique if she finds it.
Yeah. So I know we can't talk about everything that Asher does outside of his normal day-to-day, but was there anything that I guess could be publicly revealed that he may have done in his downtime?
Yeah, that is a loaded question. I mean, for the most part, like I said, helping out with the bathhouse, and it's not hidden that he's like going to go talk to Stinky and RK. It's just what about him? Yeah. So yeah, he's just working, earning coin and information, doing what he can, and like I said, hunting, making jerky, leatherworking. That's pretty much taking up most of his time right now, until something new comes up or until it starts helping Sosuke. Wait, am I saying that wrong again? Yes.
Yes.
Damn. Sasuke. Is that right?
Saskia?
Sasuke?
Yeah. I guess I don't know for sure. I've only ever read the name and not have heard it.
At level 10, your Sharingan awakens.
I was gonna say you're literally confusing the player of the character with their own name at this point.
Like I said, Silver Tongue, man. It's a double-sided sword.
You can call me whatever you want.
Exactly. If you say it one way, I'll just have to believe it.
I don't want you to become like Firebean, though.
Oh, Firebean.
So wait, is this a DOS issue or is this an Azure issue where he doesn't know how to say your name?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a both.
Because you can easily be like, cat.
That's condescending now.
I promise, I won't stoop to calling you Whiskers.
You'll make a fine rug, cat.
Come on, Mittens, let's go.
Wait, didn't he make you gloves though?
Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Oh shit, that could be just a cute name.
Oh, there we go. Anyone else want anything? Boots, maybe?
Puss in Boots. But
yeah, for the most part, I would just stay busy with that stuff. Then, if Saskia needed my help or requested it, I would absolutely be like, yeah, let's do this. I'm assuming maybe she would know or heard about the Lily person. Or maybe Asher would find out or like hear about people from Rat King or Stinky.
Lily would be a commonplace thing. Like it wouldn't be like a illicit knowledge because she owns a shop. It's not like she's keeping anything secret or like it's advertised. So like any one of you obviously could have just asked around, be like, hey, is there an alchemist in town? And like a cop would basically tell you, yeah, just go to this way over here. It's not like you have to work for that information at all.
I was thinking it was like a new upcoming thing and trying to get it off the ground, so maybe they only heard about the struggles or tried to approach with like, loan shark schemes.
No. It's not that bad for her. She actually has a shop in the market district, so you know that she's doing okay.
Oh, so
Yeah,
she's doing better than us.
I think it was just Saskia not being like city wise and
Yeah.
relying on her city-wise friend to help her find that person.
Come with me, I will show you the world.
Oh god. Okay, so in
Mittens, come
okay.
here.
Okay, Mittens, come on. Come on. So in the background, I'm gonna go move to Artrin and Mist as far as like what else they may have pursued. But you two think, and I have it as a joint decision, of the two individuals, and I think I already know where this may be going. Which you can determine which individual. We'll just say Rat King and Stinky had obviously some opportunities for work. Both of you decide in private or wherever what route you wanted to go. Like if you wanted to see what kind of job you can get through Rat King, awesome. If you wanted to see what kind of job you can get through Stinky, awesome. Just just let me know after I guess we're done talking with the monks.
Rock and roll.
So Artrin, obviously there's more than just trying to help set up this operation, because you have some stock in wanting to know what happened to a lot of things in your life, because obviously your life is kind of complicated as it is, and you're following someone who is who's lived the monastic life with you. So it's not just always about this only pursuit. So what does Artrin do on his downtime when he's not thinking about furthering just this one particular quest to figure out what the hell happened to this, like, this his home for years?
Yeah, so I think most of it probably would be trying to come up with funds for the house, for the bathhouse.
Mhm.
I know that's a big step for Miss and the group to come up with this bathhouse and secure at least starting funds. So Archim set up a stall in the market district to see if he can sell some of his wood carvings, see what's going on. Hoping that at least someone would be interested in maybe a custom order or just the little knickknacks that he carves on his free time.
An Artrin Etsy stall.
Basically.
Yeah, and I remember us discussing a little bit about that too. And I think that with him establishing himself, I think I remember vaguely you got in with the greengrocer a little bit, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he liked the work that I did and enjoyed how I tried to keep it kind of on the lower end for people, everyone to afford, and that's kind of how he runs. So we kind of hit it off.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So for everybody else that does not know, the greengrocer is he's a very simple, verdant orc who is fairly loud and gregarious, but he tends to have himself be very prominent in the market district with basically having the freshest, best groceries that you can find probably in Salus. He kind of prides himself on having a location that is meant for everybody, and it's still in the market district, but he tries to, as was just said, try to keep things as cheap as possible, because he understands that living conditions for everybody isn't the same, and he wants everybody to kind of have those good meals. And he's got a very I want to say a very heavy accent. If you can think of a almost like a Warhammer 40k orc, he has a very distinct accent, but he's not really an aggressive individual, just a very overly gregarious and friendly individual. So he's friends with a lot of people that can tolerate him, if that, because you understand, like, there's some gregarious people that are like, you're way too friendly, man. I don't know if I have the energy to deal with you. He may be considered one of those from time to time, depending on what your mentality is for those types of individuals.
Which would fit perfect with Archon.
But yeah, he will be a contact whenever you need him, because you're probably doing some jobs from time to time other than obviously things at your stall, in order to I guess get to know other individuals around the city. But you're starting to kind of take in more of the sights and the sounds of at least the market district, and understanding maybe some of the flow of things, how the operations work with the authorities that come through. You might see some themes where there are certain bureaucrats that maybe come through to the greengrocer's location and get stuff on the regular, or their assistants get stuff on the regular, and you just kind of keep everything in mind. You've got a good kind of oversight, I guess, of the market district, at least that little area, and the types of individuals that possibly the bathhouse could cater to.
Yeah, I know over the years being with Mist, he's always kind of like keep an ear open for anything that might be good information. So along with this, that's what I'm doing, is trying to see if I hear anything interesting, like certain things are going on or whatnot, and see if that could benefit the bathhouse.
Yeah. And old Mist, what's as far as in spare time, if he has them, what is he doing?
So in Mist's spare time, especially being that he technically has probably a couple jobs technically. I'm probably transitioning out of making.
Oh, you might cut out.
It's cutting out again. No.
There we go. How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
I don't think that button likes me. So probably training somebody to make some of the more basic teas and things that I make back at the tavern to transition myself out. But in other spare time, might look into taking care of writs from that Fire Fiends group would pick up, to prove a worthy partner, and to keep an ear out for information, people who may work with, just see what information comes up about Radj's Fire Fiend. But also because I think I picked up that Rotha may know of and may not have had as very pleasant experiences with my people in the past, working, if it's legal for him to deal with writs from that group kind of a thing, then assisting there, both to keep skills up and to build that working relationship, as it may prove useful in the future, while construction is happening, so to speak.
Well, I wonder if, it would, just out of curiosity, and you could respond truthfully, would Mist have the idea to even send like a note asking if there's any kind of past interactions that Haratha has had with the organization?
I would expect so. I would expect what Miss is doing is at the end of a week, at the end of a month, probably sending a message back, giving an update on like a progress report on the manhunt. And I would think that having found a Fire Fiend, I would have written back anyways, just to say, hey, look, if we also had trouble with this one, give me the scoop. That way I would know whether just how how neck deep I was getting myself and my companions before I dumped headfirst into sewage, so to speak.
Okay. You know what? I would say if you can roll I would say because you're just being straightforward. Just like a charisma check.
-1. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 17 total.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You were able to schmooze in some writing, basically, to try to try to get some information. You weren't trying to deceive or be dishonest. You're just going straight for, be like, do I have to worry about this, essentially? Like, what am I having to work with the past interactions that you may have had with this brother of Raja's Firefiend? And you do, for the most part, you get some results back. The note that you get back, essentially through exchanges, through at the Boisterous Bard Tavern and whatnot, as you give the progress reports, is you do get back a few things that are concerning, where the organization says that even the brother can be dangerous and to just be careful. There have been other operatives that have tried their hand at convincing in a very strong way this individual to help, and they have come back in a not so healthy manner. So they want you to basically tread lightly, as lightly as you can.
Makes sense.
So at the very least, whatever exchanges that you know that your organization and Hrotha has had, it's probably not been friendly ones. Of course, you don't know entirely what those exchanges were all about. You don't know if it was Hrotha that instigated, or if it was the organization that instigated, or how diplomatic those exchanges were at all. So you just know that your organization feels that this individual is also dangerous, although he is not the culprit, obviously. It is still the one that just basically watch your ass.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. That kind of leads in more to with what I'm probably trying to do then, with trying to build a trust relationship instead of just coming in and like heavy-handed or something. So that both makes Mist happy while also giving more reason to be cautious and guarded.
Just as a follow-up, go ahead and roll it would just be about your organization. Just go ahead and do like an intelligence check for me too.
I'm gonna have to take that thing off that makes it roll and tells fire every time I roll. It tries to open the break.
Oh no.
That's a flat 3.
Yeah, I see that. You're not entirely sure who would have been dealing like in the past with Hrotha at any point in time. If you had known, maybe the names could have possibly remembered, but of course you don't. You would just be going by code names anyway, and you're not entirely sure if the exchange that Hrotha had was so far in the past that it was someone else. Like say they have someone named I don't know, your Mist, right? Say they had somebody named Flame. If they interacted with a Flame in the past, it may not be the same person, if you catch my drift. Basically, it could be a code name that has been passed down. There could have been a Mist before you, but now you are Mist. So it's very hard to determine when these interactions happened. The individuals that would have been maybe interacting with, you're not entirely sure. Apparently, wait, who are you giving inspiration to?
Mist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll use the inspiration. I'll re-roll that intelligence check.
Yeah, go for it.
Nat 20.
Holy shit! All right. Well, the individual that would have came before you, inquiring upon these things, and we can go into later as far as who that individual exactly is, but you know that they were a hothead. Like you know for certain that that individual that came before you in order to try to investigate these types of dealings, if they did which is heavily hinted, interact with Hratha, that they are very non-diplomatic and very headstrong in the methods that they implement. So you can imagine that there was probably some butting of heads, considering whenever you walked into Hratha's exchange with those individuals, those individuals trying to take the writs, he wasn't going to give them to him regardless. Like it was very, very apparent that he would have gotten his ass beat, but he wouldn't have given a shit. He wouldn't have given them anything for free. He wouldn't have went down swinging. So, you know, put two individuals in a room that are very hot-headed, it's probably not going to end too well.
Awesome. Do I know if that one ended in a fatality for the previous organization member, or if they just ended up like enforced retirement due to injuries?
Forced retirement. No, he did not fatalize them. You know that at least through organizational whispers, someone had to retire because of grievous injuries, but they were apparently still alive.
Awesome. Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Sweet. No, not to be too heavy-handed. Maybe carrot and stick, not a whip. Got it.
Maybe. Now there is, just to kind of give you all a little bit more insight into the city as well. There's a few more locations that you may have dealings with. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can dig some of this up. Trying to go through my stuff. So Lily's place is a Little Auger. That is where your Saskia is probably familiar with now. Greengrocer, I don't think you all would really need to go to a lot of the weaponry locations for the most part. You might have some dealings in the Ministry District now that you are essentially landowners within the city. So at some point in time, Mist or someone else may have to go to like the courts and ask for certain paperwork for land ownership, or need to go pay taxes, things of that nature. You're probably one, if not some of you, are becoming more and more familiar with that location. And if you remember from the first time where Asher took all of you into the sewer the first time, the Market District and the Ministry District are separated by a couple of large bridges, and under one of those bridges is a very large like portcullis opening for the undergutter. But if you cross that bridge, there's some authorities standing there to give people the clearance and go ahead and just notate who's passing through to the Ministry District from the Market District. But you all start to become a little bit more familiar with the city as far as the layout is concerned. It becomes less uncomfortable for you, Saskia, even though ultimately home is home. But you start to understand the layout a little bit better as you all are going back and forth to these various locations.
Yeah, I think she's probably feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Yeah, I mean, like, not ultimately, but at least there's a place right now temporarily you can call your home. That's, you've all transformed it from whatever building it was to the bathhouse that is, and it's still a little bit in the works, but it's open and operated. So yeah, it's getting there. Let's see what else. I think there was a location that may be somewhat close by. I think is it Forged in Flame? Give me a second here. Oh no, that's the blacksmith. Just double
Sounds
check.
like our next YouTube channel, Forged in Flame. That's gonna be our next campaign, guys.
So you're all gonna become blacksmiths. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that the one where the guy is like, it will kill?
It will kill.
It's actually like the twilight years of our party after we did some things that ended up making us fall into hell. Our new versions, like our new personalities, were forged in the fires of hell. Oh, sorry, did I take that to a fun place?
Fires of Heck. Okay, this is a Christian family D&D game. Thank you.
Oh gosh, I meant Hades. I mean the fires of Hades. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, we're gonna get copyright strict now. It's that's the game. Can't do that.
Hadeth. There we go, Hadeth.
There is a location sort of nearby called the Silver Thread, and it is like a training location for all walks of life. So there is an individual there who is an older tiefling, and it's like a training ground. So if you need any kind of like hand-to-hand or like weapons training or anything of that nature, it's open for all walks of life. They make their money, their business model, from what it seems like, is having long-standing residents come and stay and train hardcore. It's not meant for, like an MMA person or anything like that nature. This is just a general love and pursuit of a craft of some kind. So you see a lot of mercenaries there. You also see, I don't know who in this would be familiar with. I'm trying to think. Honestly, if all of you want to roll an intelligence check, you are more than welcome to. I think, I don't know who would be familiar. We'll just
The whole nine.
We'll just take a shot in the dark and see if this rings a bell for anybody. Holy crap! All right.
I rolled a 4.
All right.
Saskia was like, training? I will awaken
What?
that Sharingan. Let's do this. Oh wait, that's copywritten too, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't do that.
Oh, I got so confused because the like animation on my screen was like a B and not a 20. So I was like, what does that mean?
Oh, because it's crit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you
Yeah.
can also change your dice if you have any other ones on D&D Beyond. So if you have any
Okay.
other, you can select some new dice.
Cool.
Okay, so let me. I'm trying to think how Saskia would do this of all things.
I know her intelligence is not great.
Well, no. It's really just like passing knowledge. So, and I'll get into it and how Archer knows, because it's a little bit more organic with Archon, how he knows it first and foremost. You've heard, especially dealing with a lot more of the public now, the talks of the Silver Thread, and it's nothing that's like too secret or anything of that nature. It's just not commonplace knowledge. Like, nobody's going to jail if they know this information, but it's a location where the Aether Blades are actually stationed, and you're not entirely sure like the entire past of the Aether Blades, but you understand that it was it's like sort of like an organization that prides itself on defending. It's like fighters basically, but they pride themselves on defending them and surround people around them against the dangers of magic. And it's not like a dare program or anything of that nature. They are just honing their abilities through martial prowess in order to defend themselves from magical threats.
Okay, so basically just they don't use magic, but they're trained to fight against it.
Exactly. Yes.
Templars.
Makes sense.
They're not religious. They're more just like martial. Like they're fighters who have gotten burned by one too many fireballs that has said, fuck this, I want to learn how to defend against it, basically.
No more magic damage.
Yeah, they try their best. So you're not entirely sure like what all that entails or like any of the styles involved with it, but you just know pretty much the general gist of that particular organization. Saskia, I would say that you would know that from your village. There was probably a roaming band of those individuals who were going around recruiting, and they were mostly trying to recruit the wood elves in that particular area. But you've overseen the symbol. Essentially, you could recognize the symbol that they represent on the silver thread. As being something that those individuals were wearing, and you kind of piece two to two together with the things that they were trying to pitch to you all at your village with what they do, and you're like, okay, that I remember that actually. They were, talking about how to defend yourself from magical threats and, casters that have gone insane from aether poisoning and things of that nature. So they, you vividly remember that, considering you rolled a 20.
Nice. That was a good tie-in.
Hey. But yeah, that's probably one of the closest establishments that you have to your location, and it could be beneficial to get in tight with them at one point in time or another, because honestly, if they have a bunch of individuals that are constantly getting tired, sweaty, whatever, they might want to clean up afterwards.
We give them a group discount.
But yeah, I would say throughout your days. Okay, and this is another sidetrack before I get too far. At some point in time, and it doesn't have to be you have to build it from scratch or anything like that. If you find something that you like, you can Google this, because I know pretty much everybody here, at least in this group, has Tailspire. You can Google. I forgot what it's called. They're like blocks, essentially, that you can Google for Tailspire. If you do like D&D Tavern or D&D Bathhouse or something of that nature, you can probably find some pre-made stuff if you don't want to make it yourself. And then we can load your bathhouse in Tailspire for this campaign. And I'll actually literally put it in, 'cause I'm trying to start to build the city of Salus in Tailspire, even though it's probably going to drive me more crazy than anything. If you wanted to essentially build your bathhouse literally so you can see it as well whenever we play, I'm more than happy to do that. And like I said, you can find some pre-made stuff that you might just be able to link it to me. I could literally copy a command line and paste it into my Tailspire without having to do a damn thing.
Sounds good. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, so I'd look around if you're bored, and it could be pretty cool. And for Mist and Artrin, with a sort of in-betweeny session, you both would be down to do a writ from Salus Salvage, the fire Ratha's business.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Ooh, Ratha's business.
That way, there's a few things, and I'm gonna see who else would be down to kind of do some mercenary work essentially with you two, and then obviously some sneaky beaky work with Asher and Saskia. I think I have a few people already, but we'll have to see.
That would be so cool.
You can have your little mini adventures alongside. Okay, so let's do a day in the life of the bathhouse. It's early morning. Things are starting to open up. Things aren't perfect with the bathhouse yet, but you've got a lot of the decorations. I'd say it's still grand opening week of the bathhouse. What do we even call the bathhouse now? I don't think we've ever really came down to it. We're calling it the bathhouse right now, but what are we calling it?
I am looking for suggestions.
Yeah.
Because obviously we want to have something, and I want to go ahead and even in the Discord put it as a key location too.
I'm not sure why I typed that out, but I did.
Mystery Mist. And jerky. Just put and jerky at the end of it.
Could just call it the heavy mist. Make sure it's nice and steamy in there. That goes in ways I wasn't intending. Never mind. Wrong kind of bathhouse.
Yeah.
Well, unless.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna make a joke and say we put a god rod somewhere in there, but
So I couldn't. I'm bad at coming up with names, so I asked my wife, and she said sweaty asses.
Ooh.
you can have your carvings just as like donkeys at the gates. But he asses. Moist. Oh man, now I'm thinking of like WAP. Like what can you guys do for wet ass pools? Like I don't know.
Wet ass people.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, wet ass pussy, because it's me.
It's
in the
me.
bath.
It's a me, a Saskia.
It's me.
Well, suffice to say, the lines are extremely long with that name.
But people leave pretty quickly, disappointed, seeing it's just an actual sopping wet tabaxi.
Yep, they're gonna come in and they're gonna be like, "What? I thought this was some kind of establishment for pleasure, not a bathhouse."
Do you not find this funny and pleasurable? Come on.
I see it now.
It's a damn hour to see this. Well, at least I got some jerky, I guess.
Artrin has carved up a wooden version of in the likeness of Saskia, but it's kind of this mesh at Saskia, but with a towel. But then the towel is being blown like the Marilyn Monroe
Oh my
dress
God.
scene.
I was thinking more of the towels being pulled away by some kind of dog creature.
Oh my god. Copper tone. I'm still pissed that didn't go through with that AI. Oh my god, whatever. So yeah, I mean it could be a little memey. It's okay. But what I'll do is I'll list it obviously in the Discord as a place to kind of visit as well.
Call it the Cleanly Kith.
Mm-hmm.
Head on down to CK's the Cleanly Kith or something like
Yes, you were coming off as like a redneck car salesman for a second there. Come
that.
on
Head
down.
on down to CK's and get your butt clean. We got waps in there, you got your wet kitties in this side, you got your wet puppies over here, and in the back, if you want a little something, in the high class and a little whiskey on the side, you don't know. Okay, I'm done. I am totally done. Oh god.
So I was trying to think of things that we could kind of play with in terms of make it funny. So I was thinking of Seorsum's exotic exfoliation, but instead of E for exfoliation, do an X.
Ooh, yes.
Lord,
Just call it sex for short.
Well, it all depends on how moist we're making this location.
I mean, it's pretty goddamn wet.
That's true.
Is there room for expansion? Can we get a massage parlor and make it a full-on spa in the future? A little section off to the side.
I would say yes.
Yeah.
So we call it sex happy endings.
Sex and relax.
Come on down to the sex.
Yeah, honey, I'll be back later. I'm just gonna go down to the sex. You want me to pick you up anything on the way back home?
Just
imagine.
soaking.
Someone comes in for a massage. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get one from the tabaxi." Asher walks in, himbo status. Let me massage you. Overly
Be wearing fake
oil
cat
in the hand.
paws, a fake tail, and fake ears.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Asher's now a furry. He transforms himself.
Asher, the Nico wannabe. I love it.
But that's the thing, is like he's already got a tail, so he puts another tail on?
No, he just puts
Unless
a
he
little
can make it
fuzzy,
furry.
like a lion's tip, the fuzziness. Just puts a little tip on it.
Oh,
He
okay.
just takes some fur balls from Saskia and makes it and molds it to his tail.
Oh no. All right, so
That's why he offered to brush me the other day. What?
Oh my god.
I'm just imagining little fake toes on like his hooves.
It's,
God.
yeah, that's true too. Fake claws.
Got some hoof toe beans.
I was about to say you have to come in and like being so proud of him singing toe beans, toe beans.
I've got sweet toe beans.
I guess that brings up a good point though. Do you all have hired workers, or is it all just you performing whatever needs to be done anyway? Because I mean, if it is just bathing right now, I guess it would be okay for just you all.
I would think honestly we would end up with hired workers because we do have our night job, if you will.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
I think we're all probably busy, but we are the owners.
Yeah,
It's
mainly
true.
BS, but try and find some reliable work, whether it be through even the Rat King or Stinky or just normal employment.
Oh god, now I'm thinking that. You know, it probably isn't too far-fetched for you to have a few of Stinky's kobolds as hires to do cleanup, to do basic cleanup stuff, if anything. Maybe behind the scenes. I don't know if they're entirely too customer facing, but you can, like, say if it's late at night and you just need cleanup, I'm sure there are a few that can at least aid in those regards.
Yeah, definitely. Go watch the bath. You know, the bath's why we prepare for the building for tomorrow.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Make sure we have some of the Rat King's little pets that can be living in those passages in between the walls.
Speaking,
Yeah, maybe we can get kickbacks because of that, and that's how we
true.
can fund it.
I was gonna say, speaking of which, Artrin, how much time have you been spending with your rat friend?
Every waking moment and some sleeping.
Okay, that is fair. That is fair.
He is like, I basically would say like Pokemon Ash and Pikachu. He is constantly on my shoulder.
That is fair. You do notice that over I would say the past couple of months that the energy level of your little furry friend has dipped a little bit, and you're not entirely sure why. You know, it could be one thing. I don't know if anybody has any kind of maybe animal knowledge or anything. Maybe hint, hint, wink, wink. I don't know if anybody in the group.
I'm the weird ranger that doesn't really have animal.
I have a +4 to animal handling.
I have 0, but I'll roll it.
I have +1.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to try to assess some information, and Archon, you're allowed to obviously roll that as well.
I am apparently very busy working on things. The best I noticed was that we might have made the mouse the mascot of the group and considered calling the bathhouse M&M, the Misty Mouse. I rolled a 1.
Yes, you did. Well, I would say that there's not really a clear indicator as far as like the cause of the lethargy of the little fella.
Now I can roll. Let me see if I can roll that.
We'll give you the funds. Take it to a vet.
Well, I got a 14.
Well, you know that because it's pure white, or I believe it was a pure white rat that you can tell by the whiskers alone. It's a little bit harder to tell, but there's a little bit more age that you can notice now that you're paying closer and closer attention to it. And it may just be an age thing where obviously rats lifespan isn't like huge to begin with, and you're not entirely sure the age in which you received the friend, but of course it's only been a handful of months anyway, so you're not entirely sure what may be the cause, but it looks like the rat just seems a little bit older now. I guess that's really the only way that you can really describe it.
It's a magic rat.
Magic rat. I mean, you do know someone who might be able to tell you more, if anything. But it's really up to you if you wanted to disturb him.
Well,
I think with the bonding I would have formed, I would think about it. Like, it would be a serious thought, because now he's my buddy and I really don't want his health to decline now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been with you even like through all your daily stuff too, so it's becoming almost commonplace for like people to, whenever they swing by your stall, to greet you and the rat as well.
Yeah, I think he's become kind of part of the stall. I think I would definitely be leaning more towards getting whatever help, even if it's, bugging people that shouldn't be bugged.
well, Saskia and Asher are planning to go see him.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Shut up!
Shut up!
I just want to tell him that there's a big pool and stuff. He can, come stick his toe in, I guess. Maybe he wants a massage.
Ooh. Winky face?
Not trying to say anything, but do have horns.
Well, you know that at least that time frame wise, you should be okay to probably see it after a good starting days of bath work. So after quite some time of just making sure everything is good to go, and getting some customers roll in, after it hits probably, I would say, it really doesn't lull too much throughout the day. I would say obviously usually around the normal times where people would eat or people would be going home to go to bed. After they get off work, sometimes they stop by the bathhouse. So you have a few slightly slower times, but it's not like ridiculously slow throughout the day. So it's a constant drizzle of people that want to come in and take baths, but it's all kind of self-contained. Like, really, there's nothing too much. You just have a couple of people overwatch and make sure nothing goes crazy. I would say that, however, who's going to be mostly front end and notice as people come through, or help them with like towels and things of that nature?
Not Saskia.
I'll say if they're also doing teas and drinks and stuff like that, I can see Mist working back there. Atron, I feel like he's not super people person.
No,
So I feel like Asher is, so he'd probably talk, wine, and dine.
Okay.
Maybe that's just me. Anyone
That
else?
might be our first hire too.
Oh,
yeah,
sweet! I
that's
get
true.
the job.
Show us your pecs. You're hired. You do catch note that on this particular day, at least Asher, I think you remember. I know a few others probably will remember, but there is an individual that comes in, and if we're talking like a traditional like bathhouse, they'll have a location to store their stuff. There's likely for you all just a polite note that says, please don't, don't come wielding, weapons, just like normal street etiquette, like in the city. There are rules for having weapons. Always have it holstered or sheathed in any shape, way, or form. No wielding weapons. So you guys have a commonplace rule set like that. Like, outside food or drink is not generally permitted. You know, stuff that keeps your business afloat and avoids any kind of conflict or problems within the establishment. You do happen to notice. Oh, what's up?
Oh, I just had a thought. You know, there's it's a tiered service. If you want to be served drinks in the bath, you know, you pay for the higher tier upon entry. You get a different color towel that lets the staff know to come and serve you some teas, maybe some snacks.
Oh, okay. So as you have individuals come and go, it's pretty commonplace and pretty easy. Asher, you're just handing out towels, flirting left and right, keeping an eye on very jerky-like individuals, and you do notice that you see a semi-familiar face stroll up with a very particular accent that you are familiar with. And you take a moment to it takes a moment to click because you're the front end man, but you remember this guy from when you had first seen the Rat King with everyone, and he was coming as you were going, but he asks for basically the highest service, and with one hand that dips out of his coat, he puts more than an appropriate amount of money on the desk for a private bath and also the drinks and food that Miss was talking about.
And this is what I would say and how I think it'd go, or
Yeah, like I mean, you recognize him, and you're not entirely sure if he recognizes you, but you all did cross paths when he said he had business with the Rat King as you all were leaving the Rat King for the first time.
well, 100% Asher, you know, well, right, I see you're going the highest tier here. You want some jerky now? Maybe a drink before you get wet? And then he'd, give him the towel and everything, tell him what's going on, where he could put his stuff, and I guess he'd already have his weapons holstered and everything. But if he could slip it in, also be ask him.
He can slip what in?
What?
What's he slipping in?
Don't worry about it. We're in the showers. It's fine.
What is he paying for? Oh my god!
Apparently, he's buying the whole shop. I'm giving him what he wants. I'm giving him the god rod.
Oh shit!
Oh,
That's a lot of gold he's worked over.
He thought he was coming in for a shower. I'm going to shower him, all right. But yeah, he would. I think Ash would kind of poke around because that first time leaving the Rat Kings, he also noticed the weapons, which they were ethereal, I think.
They were shard locks. They were the guns.
Oh, okay. I think Asher would ask about him, ask about line of work, what he does, and generally use that silver tongue skill and try and find out more about him, while still, being polite, smiling, going through the motion. And then after, he found out what he could and got him in there kind of private, definitely let someone else know that, oh, we got company in here that we've seen before. Let them know.
As you are trying to essentially gauge information from this individual, he will pull out with his same hand, and like he still has a robe over him, basically draped over his shoulders. The middle is kind of like open and flowing after he got changed, but he still has all of his stuff under his I would say tossed over one of his shoulders as if it were like a shoulder backpack or like a messenger bag. And he pulls out from like his belt loop. He had stored one of his coin purses And he pulls out a coin. He holds it with two of his fingers as he takes it out of his robe. He goes, I have paid for the anonymity of being here, and I just wish to relax today. So don't be offended if I don't share too many details about myself, friend. And he just kind of tosses you the coin and kind of walks over to wherever his private bath area is.
Okay. Yeah, I'd ask him if he wanted service with drinks and food and anything else, or if he just wants to be left alone. And anonymity is guaranteed.
He would reply that if he can get some drinks and then some just some privacy, he would appreciate that. And then as he goes in to the bath, you'll notice that he stores his messenger bag full of stuff, essentially, that has his shard locks, his guns, essentially, in there. There are multiple guns in there, but whenever he decides to disrobe, because you've seen it all before, when he disrobes and starts walking into the pool, he only has one arm.
Huh. Interesting. Well, he didn't want to be poked and prodded with information or anything like that. I would let him be for now and just tell him, well, drinks will be in like 10 minutes. Get cozy, let him relax, and go from there. But I'd still let people know that dude from the Rat King, yeah, he's only got one arm. Crazy, I saw it all gnarled off and stuff.
I'll see if I can pull up his hero forge at least. Give me a second here. He is also another tiefling.
For some reason, I thought it was human.
But yeah, he's a tiefling as well. He just has a less prominently bright skin as a tiefling. It is closer to a traditional human tone than anything, but he has this he doesn't wear his cowboy hat into the into the bath, the bathing pool, but
come on.
he has it close by, so whenever he's basically relaxing, he puts it over his head and kind of tilts his head back until he hears someone come in with refreshments.
I'm so curious about him having two guns, like dual wielding, but one arm.
Interesting.
Maybe he just fires one and
I have
drops
some
it and
ideas.
picks up the other one.
Do tieflings have prehensile tails?
They can.
Okay, I believe they can.
You do know, or at least Asher probably would have seen that there are multiple guns.
I'm also is his tail gone? I don't see it in there.
It's on the left-hand side, or of the picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see it now. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Being he's another tiefling. Probably not while he's in there, but I'd ask him. I can't remember the island name where Asher's actually from off the top of my head now. But I don't know. I'd probably try and ask him whenever he left if he was from that isle or that island. Try and just figure out a little more about him. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can learn more. Maybe I can get on good ground with him.
Yeah, I mean, you could use like colloquialisms like, hey, are you from the Old Isle? Like, because you all are called the Old Bloods anyway, so it has like this colloquialism. You could just basically say, are you from the Old Isle? And Asa is the major city there. If you're trying to break conversation, like, oh, I grew up in Asa or whatever, blah blah blah. Regardless of what you do, he just holds up his one good arm and just does like a no, because he very much so is embracing the peace and quiet with his head being overshadowed by his Stenson hat.
Even if Asher like rolls for charisma or something.
Hey, you can try.
All right, let me go my roll. I got an 18 plus 4, 22.
All right. He starts to get a little bit angry. Just at the fact that, you know, he paid for something and he's wanting to just rest in peace and quiet. Then he kind of sighs it off. He's like, "Yes, I am from the old island. What else do you want to know?"
What happened to your arm? You have one arm but two guns, and you know, I just wanted to ask about the old isle because, you know, I'm from there. Came here, you know, when I was much younger, but just wanted to know what happened. Like, why are you here now? Why'd you leave?
The life over there is not so easy. I believe you understand that if you are here, but it's kind of rude asking me about my arm. Chalk it up to a severe aether accident. I don't have to share everything with you. Just let me relax, please.
All right, I would not. I wouldn't want to push my luck with them. With a smile, Ash would be like, "All right, you know, I understand. Well, in 10, 15 minutes, whatever, drinks will be in here. We'll leave you alone." And I'd probably go back out to the front, but still let someone know that the guy from, like I said, the Rat King is still in there, and, you know, he's just in there. That was pretty much it. I think I wouldn't really worry about sharing the information about he's from, you know, the Isle and stuff where I came from.
Yeah, I mean, what you think you can glean from the information is that he probably didn't have a great life over there like you. I mean, and it's pretty relatable that if you are, if you're even semi-counterculture to the life over in, like on the Old Isle, it's probably not an easy time growing up or existing. Obviously you were kind of an outcast. Your family was kind of an outcast, for the most part. So it was difficult for you in general to kind of deal with the things that you were going through. So obviously you're not entirely sure. He's not going to share everything, and he doesn't seem like he's in a talkative mood right now, to share like his life story, but you can just assume that there's probably a shared childhood trauma upbringing that he had, that led him to do whatever he's doing right now.
Yeah, I 100% will not share my history and the family history of what happened there.
Probably not a good idea.
But I don't know. I would ask Mist for the drinks for him. We add a little bit of alcohol to something. You know, he's already going to be in the sauna. It's going to be hot and steamy. When it hits him, it's going to hit pretty hard if he gets enough drinks. Maybe he'll open up, be a little more talkative. This is just the people in street smarts working in.
You're going to try to get him drunk.
Yeah.
And Mist will definitely bring in some an assortment of teas and or alcohols for him to choose from. Being with the package that he brought after a little time.
Well, after about 15-20 minutes, obviously you bring in the assortment, and he looks over to. Are you going in with the Mist, or is it just Asher?
No, I'll probably still be actually doing the employee thing, so I'll just be
okay.
serving and then leaving.
So yeah, I'd bring the drinks in, see which one he wants, see if he wants more of something else, wants less, what he kind of wants. Then I'd kind of make my opinion about, I don't know, if whiskey or what would really be serve there, but for alcohol. But I would be like, yeah, you ought to try this. Pretty good. Put a little hair on your chest, bud. You might need it.
Let me give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can. Gonna roll a die here.
That's always dangerous.
It is always dangerous.
He gets fed up with Asher and kills him.
All right, well, that was a good first roll.
Oh no.
I would say he probably picks something that is, you know what? Actually, he takes your drink and he just he motions to like shot glasses, and he just points to it and has you essentially pour him a shot. He just knocks it back, no problem.
Well, I'd keep it going. As many drinks as he wants up until he's done or he wants me to leave. Keep kind of quiet and don't let him talk or, move around too much to realize that I'm trying to get him trashed to probe for information. Maybe get to shoot some of his guns a little bit.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to shoot it.
Pew, pew, pew. Just start shooting him in the bathhouse.
Oh my
Brand
god.
new bathhouse, come on!
It's holes everywhere. It's on fire. Asher
Don't
comes out.
worry.
I did a thing. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Thank God we got straight for him.
But he just he takes obviously the drink, slams it down, has what would be like the equivalent of Salus whiskey, and the shot glass still there, and he goes, "Thank you," and then basically motions you to leave. I prefer to
I guess
bathe in
we-
private if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Be back in 20 minutes. Check on you again. And I'd just leave because I don't want to try and push luck with him. And if he's already had a couple shots, let that work in a little bit and hit him again. See if he wants more.
He does seem to be pretty occupied with you. Are you telling anybody else that that you're trying to work this guy for anything?
Yeah, I'd let Miss know. If he's pouring shots and help me out and make sure this guy gets a little bit tipsy, or at least off his game, I'd be like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to shoot his guns in the bathhouse. Don't worry. I was thinking that too. But
He does seem pretty preoccupied and not super welcoming of you anymore, Asher. Like he's very much so cut and dry with what he wants, and there may be other ways to approach this scenario, but I think a head-on, like even just talking with him, he seems very reluctant to share his time with you in such a way that he's wanting to be very talkative.
I pull out my sword now.
Roll initiative.
Well, if I'm getting the sense that he's getting tired of me, then yeah, I'd see who else is free. Maybe Saskia or Atron are free, and I'd see if they would deliver drinks and just kind of hint towards the alcohol for the mere just quick reason of I want to get him drunk so I can figure out what he knows.
I think Saskia is just around, probably sweeping. I don't know what kind of job she would do
Whistling
there.
It's like in the background.
So if like a task like delivering drinks is needed of her, she would probably do that, but I don't know if she would necessarily be trying to get any information. She would just probably say hello to him and deliver the drink, and if he seems not interested in talking, then she'd be like, okay, peace out.
Let's have a small powwow. Would okay. How much? I'm trying to think what we could do here as proper compensation for this. Because I want to set you all up, because you had some really good ideas before, but I think we're missing the mark in some areas, because you wanted to set up this bathhouse with a lot of different locations and possibly some tricks up your sleeve to garner more information from individuals. Maybe not necessarily always just through conversation. What you could have, if you wanted to, and I would be more than happy to allow this, considering the attitude of this individual is borderline hostile at this point. For the storage areas, considering you have like little secret sneaky ways to go from place to place, if you wanted some false walls where people would store their stuff, you might be able to do something a little bit sneaky. Like
they store in a locker, the back of the locker is a false wall, so whoever's behind the wall can just pilfer through the stuff.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he brought it in that knapsack though, and I'm assuming that's in the like bath or not the bath, but he just drops it in the water. His guns, they're no longer any good.
He stored it appropriately.
Oh, okay. I kind of got the impression that he like took it with him and it was next to him at the bath.
No, just his head. Sorry if I wasn't clear.
Oh well, I'm going through that shit then. I want to look at him gun.
So yeah, you can definitely do that. If he were more susceptible to masculine and or feminine wiles, I would say that, you know, he could probably be convinced, but it just doesn't seem like that. But yes, yeah, you can 100%. It's kind of why I would love to have a write-up of this location too at some point. We can obviously get that later, but having some kind of false walls is not, from what you all were telling me, is not beyond reason.
I was also thinking possibly, I don't know how it would work logistically, but instead of just having people have their own individual lockers, like having like a coat closet kind of a thing, where we take your stuff and bring it to a safe back room.
You can have like a ticket system or something.
Yeah,
It actually works along with what I was thinking, because we mentioned about the weapons not being allowed in. I was thinking like a check-in for weapons, but yeah, we could do a check-in for your basic clothing or something like that. Because with the way most of these bathhouses works, like you would go into a section where you would disrobe. There's a little spot off to the side where you actually clean and scrub yourself before you go into the soaking area proper. I was thinking there could definitely be like staff right there to give tickets to take and handle your possessions for you, take them to the back to like a locker of some kind. So that sounds perfect.
Yeah, then let's do that. That would work. So that way you don't have to worry about pressing your luck. You can literally go through his stuff if you wanted to.
So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to approach Saskia while she's sweeping and be like, "Can I see that broom real quick?" And as soon as she hands it to Asher, he throws it just down the hallway. And then he's like, "Okay, so here's the deal. I need you to deliver alcohol to this room. This dude, he's got one arm. Don't look at it too much. It's kind of weird looking. Just hint that, or keep bringing him the whiskey because he already drank it. Bring a shot glass. You don't have to say anything. And just try and keep him in there for a little bit. I'm going to go through his stuff. If there's anything good, I'll cut you in on it."
All right. Sounds good.
He's got a couple of guns. We'll take one, shoot him outside real quick, and bring him back. No.
I would love to see what happens now.
Oh.
No, I wouldn't do that. That's
what can he do? He doesn't have his guns.
This is true. What's he gonna do? Headbutt us? I got horns too, bitch. I headbutt back. But yeah, that would be my main game plan. And then I would continue to work the front and stuff after I've searched his stuff and went through, seeing what I can find. I would check out the guns too. I definitely wouldn't fire them, but just look at them, make sure I kind of knew. Like, is he a what do they call him? Artificer, where he can like create the guns and do all that, and just kind of learn, see what I can find out about them. Maybe they've been fired recently. Maybe one's loaded. Maybe one's not loaded.
Well, I'll tell you this. You're not entirely sure. Like, you can go ahead and roll intelligence. I don't think you've probably come across too many, like an intelligence check. I don't think you've come across too many, like, shard locks and stuff before.
19.
Okay, you know of them. It's very rare considering you know how expensive that they are. But it's not something that is like ridiculously mechanical in nature. It's more magic driven.
Oh.
So typically someone with a shard lock is more so magically inclined, because there's a lot of things that more proper casters can do with shard locks that the mundane can't.
Okay.
Like, you've probably seen one or two users in your time be able to, I would say, some skilled individuals who are basically casters that could shoot a bullet from there, which is basically just a shard of aether magic, and then have that bullet do some kind of effect. Like, you've seen it explode like a fireball at its end location.
Okay.
So you know it's dangerous shit to get into and to mess around with, but you're pretty sure that if you were to fire it, it wouldn't have the same effect. It would just be like you would shoot a shard of aether and that would be it.
Okay. Well, I would search also. Can I search his clothes? Maybe he's got notes. Maybe he's got something in there. I wouldn't steal anything because that's too obvious. He's a smart enough guy. Obviously, if he's, using magic, he's a smart fella.
I mean, he's got some personal effects on him. He's probably got a pin. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it's of a sigil of some kind. Again, you're kind of unfamiliar with it. You're not entirely sure what it may pertain to. It could be a family crest of some kind. It could be maybe something related to his spellcasting. I'm not entirely sure. You look at his clothes. His one arm side is pinned up, kind of like bundled up, like as it should be, because he doesn't really have a fully functioning arm on technically his left side. He's got, more money, other than one of the coin purses that he has with him, in the bath, and, just some writs that he has that look kind of, some of them are a little bit muddled, maybe covered in dirt, maybe a little bit in blood.
Main thing I want to remember is that sigil. I want to remember what it looks like, and then maybe trace it or draw it down or something.
Yeah, and I can come up with that and give it to you later.
Okay. So I'd remember that, and I don't know, after learning just this much so far, I would put everything back, put it back like it was, so hopefully he wouldn't notice. And I would resume going back to the front and kind of working where I was.
Yeah.
Give me some stuff to think about and figure out where. Well, I already know where to turn to try and ask about it, but just some stuff to think about and mow over.
I'm kind of curious if... So Saskia doesn't really have much charisma, but she understands that these are her customers, so to say. So she would be going over to deliver drinks. She would just, be very polite and say, "Did you need anything else?" or anything like that. Kind of curious what the interaction, if he would be equally kind of angry with her being there, or if he was okay with her being delivering some drinks.
I think he would be okay with you delivering drinks, simply because I guess you haven't asked him as much. You know, you just basically asked, hey, you know, do you need any more to drink? And he's just like, oh, I'm perfectly fine. I have the bottle right here. I appreciate it though. And then he just kind of lays back and, you know, relaxes the rest of the way. So he doesn't seem as hostile as he was probably to Asher. But Asher did ask, where's your other arm? So, you know, it's kind of fucked in a way.
You don't do that.
I'm just stirring up conversation. I was curious.
You know that horrible disfigurement that you have? What about that, dude?
What happened with that? What's going on, bud? You can talk to me. You just met me.
What are you trying to hide? But no, he's more neutral to fine. You know, he feels like, you feel like he's just responding to someone who asked him a question about his service, and that's it.
I think Saskia is like very glad that he doesn't want anything else, and she scurries out of there.
I was like, God, I hate this.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we can kind of leave that as such. You know, he basically gets his full time worth drinks. I would say a good portion of the whiskey that's brewed still seems relatively fine, so it looks like he could pretty much hold his liquor for the most part. And you know, gathers his stuff, comes to get the rest of his belongings, and or at least asks Saskia for his belongings after giving like the whatever it may be, like the token, basically, to get his stuff back, and basically gets on his way.
Oh, I'd like to think of the token system. It's like a chess piece. We give them the top piece. Our turns made them. Give them the top piece, and it matches back to one that we have.
That is awesome. Yes.
That is cool as hell. I love it.
So
before that guy leaves, I would like to thank Azure, kind of like nod and smile, like, you come back and see us now. Maybe not us. Come back and see me sometime.
see you in particular, huh? He just kind of fixes his Stenson a little bit. He's like, I'll keep this in mind, okay? And he just kind of is somewhat dismissive. And you don't know if maybe he's just being like semi-flirt. Maybe he's playing hard to get, you know? Who knows? At this
Hard
point.
to get. They're easy to kidnap in bed. It's easy. I got this.
It's a fucking Solace after hours. But as your day kind of wraps up and gets a little bit more lull, probably is a good time that you can stop by and see the Rat King.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna tag along to see if I can get my little buddy looked at.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would assume that's probably the main. Well, not for everyone, but that's definitely your main motivation to go see the Rat King. I mean, some people are probably gonna need a dip in the pool after this one.
You can post that in Twitch too.
The
if anybody's
picture.
watching, so they know.
All right, hold on, let me find him again.
I was like, before we leave, I'd be sure and ask Miss, like, you know, are you good with the rest of everything going on here? You need help or what?
Oh, I'll be fine. That I will. Go ahead and take care of what you need to do.
Rock and roll, buddy.
It's gonna be weird. I'm gonna have to set these up as like, as different scenes at some point in time. Just so it can, you can see the lovely faces on the screen too. But yeah,
Oh, Mr. Rat King, you can make my mustache curl.
oh my god. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if Miss, you're holding down the fort for now, it's not gonna be horrible for you in the slightest. It's literally just gonna be taking care of the last few individuals, which doesn't seem to be bad at this point in time. And then obviously the kobolds clock in. They probably have a back entrance. They're not seen like walking through the streets because they're kind of skitterish anyway. And
yes, our sewer underground.
yeah, they come in with like goggles and like mop buckets and mops, and they're just ready and raring to go.
Just overseeing at that point. That's not a big deal.
Oh, they do have an overseer to a degree. They have a manager, and it is the feminine kobold that you all saw at the start. She's got her
The
clipboard.
drawings. Oh.
Yeah, she's got her clipboard,
Yes.
and she's just like pointing to them and yelling at them to go do it. And she doesn't know what's going on really. She's just wanting to boss them around and tell them what to do, even though they've got no direction from you about what needs to be cleaned. She just automatically assumes like I don't know, the desk that you are literally behind, or the counter space, needs to be jumped up on and mopped with a mop bucket. So you see like one of the kobolds just kind of skitter up and clanging everywhere, and just starts mopping your countertop.
You know what? I'm all for it.
So you get to have fun with that. Okay, and then we have our other three lovelies heading down to the Rat King for various reasons. But you make it in. You know how to do. Basically, you know how to approach at this point in time. You've done it once before. You get an offering of food. Offer it down to one of the holes on the side of the entryways. It opens up. You make your way into the foyer, and then eventually you get to see the grand opening. Or the grand room entryway as the Rat King basically descends one of his spiral staircases down. And I mean, he greets you. He's, obviously you haven't been there in a little while, but he, I don't know. It almost feels like he was expecting you all to show up at some point in time.
Am I taking point on this? Okay, Atron?
I'm here for a different reason than you guys, but if you want to take over and like run what you guys need, I can get mine in a minute.
Oh, I'll just do a broad overview because really I'm just kind of here for work. But yeah, Asher would walk in, hey, what's going on, King? How's it going, buddy? And just kind of like walk in, make the place like home, and check everything out, kind of look at all the little details, everything that you've seen before. But yeah, go in there and tell him, Mr. King, Atron's mouse seems to be sick and ailing from something. We would like to figure out if you can know why or what's going on, what we need to do to get him feeling better and get him back, because as you already know, the bathhouse has to have a mascot, and he's our mascot. So we're here to make sure he gets back on his feet. And also, Saskia is in need to find a business. She could probably describe it a little bit better, but we need to find someone that can work with medicine. And of course, if you have any work that needs done, you can always turn to. It's me. It's always been me. You can always turn to me. I like work.
me.
No one else is as good as me. Trust me. It's fine.
I'd say, just as a side note, Saskia has probably already established the relationship with Lily, so there's probably not much need to do that. But if you still want him to make recommendations, he'll probably come up with the same kind of answer.
No, if we already know about Lily, then yeah, I'd just
I would
just be like, well, if you have work for a tabaxi and a tiefling, we are here and willing to work, because money and information.
But you notice that first and foremost, he goes up to Artrin and holds his hand out gently to the rat, and the white rat crawls off of Artrin's shoulder and then onto the hand. And then he brings it like open palmed, and he brings it close to his face and like almost gives it a little nose boop to the nose of the rat, and like closes his eyes and puts his head to the head of the rat too. And he goes on to explain that he is actually a she.
Oh.
And she has actually been missing her children for a little while.
So then I'll step up and little scratch with my nail very gently, kind of behind the ears, and then nod and back up and say, then she may return. We had a great time together.
He kind of holds up his finger, like on his other hand, and he says, so just wait here for one moment, please. And then he walks up, and then he kind of disappears after the spiral staircase, because you can hear the steps just walking away for quite some time. And then eventually he comes back down, and the white rat that you knew is on his shoulder right now. And he actually has a couple of smaller, looks like more juvenile rats in the palm of his hand. And it's probably about like 5 different ones, and they're all kind of like sitting up nice, prim and proper, just kind of, looking around as he walks down the stairs. And he goes, this is her brood. She actually had these before you came and met her. And she wanted to know that she wanted to tell you that you treated her very, very proper and cared for her very, very well in the time that she was with you. And she would be honored if you would take one of her children along with you with your adventures.
Archer will kind of like do a fist and put his hand up to his chest and say, it would be my pleasure to look after another one as I have looked after you. You have provided great company and helped me in times of my busiest hour at the stall. I would be more than happy to accept one of your children as my companion.
And he nods, and she, the white rat comes over, and basically crawls down the arm of the Rat King onto his wrist with the, like, basically standing behind her children, and just like looks at you readily to choose your companion. And then the Rat King is just basically, you may pick anyone. She's very fond of you. That doesn't happen often.
So are they active, like eyes open, like some rats are kind of born with eyes closed and stuff? Can they see me?
Yeah, they're juvenile, but they are not so young that they could not operate properly. So they do see you. They are just like watching you intently on who you're gonna choose.
So I think I'd actually walk up and put my hand out and look at her and say, I would like them to choose me.
She kind of like nuzzles against all of them. Her like head almost like snakes through them all as she's like giving them all hugs and almost like secret whispers. And you see one that is it's mostly white, but the head has like almost like a semi-diamond of black on its forehead, and it kind of steps forward and jumps to your hand and kind of crawls up your shoulder and takes a seat.
I will look at her and give a slight nod and say, I will look after them and protect them with my life. And then give a little scratch.
And the Rat King just responds with, this is why he appreciates you the most. And the other rats and Mama goes back in to like, Mama perches on the shoulder. The others kind of sneak into several of the pockets of the Rat King, and he turns to Asher, and he just comments, "She has told me much about you as well, and some of your habits. So I would tread lightly."
I want to step forward real quick and be like, before I make this confusion again, male or female?
This one is a male.
Understood. Thank you. And I'll back up a little bit and just kind of be, I guess, petting the rat a little bit and running through names to see what maybe he kind of perks up to.
Yeah, and you can obviously, they, assumingly they don't have a name right now, but obviously you can name them. But the Rat King kind of glances back at Asher and basically says that he will be in contact very soon with someone with a job for you and your friend.
While all that was going on, I would like to think that maybe I had some jerky and I was feeding random rats, just kind of like, they're funny. But
I would say, what kind of you let me know what kind of like special jerky or normal jerky?
It's your jerky.
Oh, okay, then they would be okay with it.
It's more rats. Don't worry. No.
If it was like special jerky, they probably wouldn't take it.
No, not that kind of jerky right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's deer jerky, and I would also ask the Rat King, what do you know about another tiefling with Shardlock weapons coming in? Like, is there anything maybe I should be concerned about, or?
I would only be concerned if you were on his watch list, so try your best to stay as low as possible. He is a bounty hunter.
All right. Well, it is what it is. We'll cross that path when we get there. And
hence why I said you should tread lightly, friend.
Well, I don't know. I guess Arcade doesn't know quite what I'm. Well, he knows what I'm doing, but he doesn't know what I'm doing. So
he only has a vague idea, conveyed to him via a rat.
Well, Ash would probably be like, "I appreciate your input. Thank you." Smile and be like, "If you need anything, you know where to find us."
That I do. And then he just kind of walks back up. And yeah, that's that. Unless you have something else that you need to do before you leave his abode.
I'm gonna kind of shout up as he's walking. Come join us at the bathhouse sometime.
Was that a part of that conversation?
Great. Now we're all going to be fighting who's serving drinks.
Hey, maybe people can get used to rats and we can have the rats deliver drinks, okay?
Oh.
In little tuxes.
Oh my god.
Changing the name of the bathhouse absolutely to the Misty Mouse if we do that. I'm heading down to M&M's.
Kobolds fired. Rats hired.
We can't hold up the cleanup crew.
You're gonna have to talk to Kobold Karen about that one, okay?
She sneezes suddenly while she's like telling people to to fucking stand on top of lockers and just mop the locker tops now.
Yeah, do it.
Their cleaning process is a little unethical, but it works. It's clean, okay?
Okay, so obviously we'll kind of wrap things up. The little bit of homework that we have here is obviously we're gonna get some a side piece for the monks and then the sneakies. we'll flesh out some more details about the the Misty Mouse or whatever we're calling it. And you have to give that little joker a name, Artrin.
I've already come up with one.
Hell
His
yeah.
name will be Whittle.
Whittle. Oh, that's adorable. He's a whittle mouse.
Yeah, I like
A
to,
whittle-
I like to
whittle rat.
whittle and carve, so I just call him Whittle.
Yeah.
That's so good.
But yeah, and obviously there is still the main quest at hand. But I'm sure more will unfold as you all interact with necessary parties. And then obviously, if there's stuff behind the scenes you want to do that you don't want to reveal here, just private message me. Because some things obviously you can't really reveal too much of, I would think.
Nice.
Unless you want to,
Sounds good.
whatever.
I'm actually working on one right now for you.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Viewers know that my blood type is B positive, which is hilarious because I'm a pessimist. I'm sorry, guys.
Like in real life, or
The world may never know.
no?
Both.
I've got that precious O negative blood.
Ooh. I actually am B positive. That's the funny part.
But yeah, I think for next time I'll try to see who would be down for the mercenary, like the Salus salvage mission, and then also the Rat King's special request, and then you all will probably have like a little quick side mission with your little splinter groups with maybe one or two other people. We'll see. Hopefully we can get some other people in too. I gotta get these other groups kind of organized a little bit better myself and then go from there. But if they don't want to, if you have anybody that wants to just do a quick one-off as well, I'm willing. I know obviously there were some other individuals that were expressing interest just to kind of get their feet wet, so we can always kind of involve them as well. But I'm always down to incorporate whoever wants to play, even if it is just for a one shot.
Cool.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm down for a one shot anytime.
Okay, cool. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you all for playing with me. Next time I'll be a little bit more prepared. We're shaking off all the holiday everythings.
Thank you. It
Yeah,
was
no
so much
problem. Sounds
fun.
good.
So
Yeah,
happy to talk with you guys again.
yeah, it was
Yeah, you too.
fun. I always
I
enjoy
want
this.
to add a note because I was the only one that wasn't doing anything for the bathhouse. I would like to think Artrin, because he is dragonborn and a little more resistant to fire, is running all the hot water.
There you go. That's awesome, though.
Well, you see, funny thing about that, I just sent 2 potential prefab bathhouses that I found.
Oh no.
From, was it Tails Tavern, I think is where I just grabbed them from. That could be edited and just used as a base, and like I said, there's some actual like sauna steam rooms in one of them.
Ooh, goodness. All right, I'm gonna look at that.
Yeah, it could totally be like, oh, your bath isn't hot enough? Let me use my dragon breath to heat it up for you.
Yeah, I like that. So you're carving all the intricate you can even do some of the intricate like locking mechanisms in certain locations too with your
Oh, yeah,
carving.
totally.
I can see it now. The next package we sell is the Kiss of the Dragon package. That comes with a stint in the sauna.
Ooh. All right, that sounds good. Obviously we'll have chat. So if there's anything that comes up, either private message me or toss it there, and then we'll figure out when we're playing next.
All right.
Sweet. Good night, everybody.
Okay, good
Good night.
night.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Take it easy.
All right, I'm done. That was a short one. However, it was fun. I like establishing some stuff with everybody and getting the more narrative, personable stuff out of the way, and having everybody have an input as far as what happens. So it's super fun. I am excited to do more stuff, especially with this group, as You all like to have fun, and it's super great. I gotta look at bathhouses, and I've got to look at all these other things that I'm getting messages about. So I will see you all later. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it muchly, and the next time we stream, we'll get posted sometime soon, hopefully in the Discord. So, okay, bye.